technically, if you've got an adverse event on the drug, there has to be an account of what happened.
Hmm.
But if you're GSK, as it was in this case, and you decide, well, this kid, he must have had bipolar disorder, and we just didn't realize it, and he shouldn't have been in this trial at all to begin with.
Throw them up.
You don't have to write anything. You just throw him out of the trial, and he disappears. And in this trial, where 87 people actually go on Paxil, and there's more people actually going on Paxil who become suicidal and have behavioral changes than on the placebo, there were four kids that disappear like
Hmm.
this, all taking Paxil.
Wow.
But FDA to this day know nothing about it.
Basically, what you're
So
saying is the technicalities involved here allow companies to throw out data by, what we'll just call these tricks, and that makes the data look better than it actually is.
yes, and furthermore, coming back to the issue about RCTs and the do we pay more heed to the RCT or the reports from the person? One of the things that I've been actually involved with for ages now is post-SSRI sexual dysfunction, PSSD as it's
Yeah.
called. Okay,
Yeah.
and one of the person that put this on my radar first a quarter of a century ago. Okay, she came into me one day, this lady, and I can still see her. And she told me, "Look, I'm not able to make love since I was on this pill." And I said, "Sure, these things happen. But once you come off the pill, things will be fine." And she looked at me and she said, "I've been off this pill for 3 months,
Hmm.
and I can take a hard bristled brush and rub it up and down my genitals and feel nothing." Okay. So my response was, holy fuck, essentially. But anyway, uh, and at that point, I mean, still, we had no treatment for her. Okay. Um, but here's the point I'm trying to make. Around the time she came into me, the companies up till then, when you were on any of these pills and something like this happened to you, you got in touch with the company doctor. Either your doctor got in touch with the company doctor, or you got in touch with the company doctor and said, "Look, I'm gently numb and I've been off this pill, and it all began when I was on the pill. It's still there now, months later." And the doctor would try and work out whether there was any other way to explain, the problem other than the company drug had actually caused it. Okay. And they routinely, well, not routinely, but they often actually decided, company doctors actually decided based on interviewing you when you said something like, "I can take a hard bristle brush and rub it up and down my genitals and feel nothing," that there's no other way to explain it, given that their drug can do this to begin with when you go on it, and there's no condition in medicine that causes this,
Yeah.
people to be gently numb like this,
Yeah. You can't just
that
say,
there's
oh,
no other
that's your
way to
depression.
explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But around this time, this is the year 2000, companies had begun arguing in court that the only material that counts is the randomized controlled trial material. If it's not in the randomized controlled, if it didn't control trial, if it didn't show up there, then it doesn't exist. Our drug's not causing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You can basically disappear evidence.
Yeah. But what the legal teams working for the pharmaceutical industry realized at this point was, well, if that's our argument in court, we can't let company doctors decide, in the case of this anecdote, that the company drug has caused it. They've got to say, we've had a report of someone becoming gently numb, and we're going to pass it on to FDA.
Mm.
Okay. Now, years later, I get involved in trying to collect lots of material on people who've got PSSD. And one of the things about people with PSSD is, until awfully recently, nobody wanted to let anyone else in the entire universe know that they'd got PSSD. It was a bit like having AIDS. You didn't want to let anyone know that you had this problem. So they didn't, they weren't happy at letting their names out. But I had reports on 80 people who were happy when I told them what we were going to do was we were going to send the reports we have, what we'd like to do is send the reports we have on everybody who's got PSSD to the European regulator and to FDA. And we'd like you to leave your names on it. And we'd like you to consult a doctor, also your doctor, the one who put you on these pills, and ask him or her to write a note as well, saying, well, we don't know if the drug has caused it, but we can't see any other way to explain it.
Hmm.
Okay, so we got about 30 or 40 doctors doing that as well, and 80 people leaving their names on it, which was a big thing for them to do at this point. So we sent the material to FDA, who are still sitting on it 5 or 6 years later. We sent the material to the European regulator, whom I happened to know at the time. Okay, so I was able to get in touch with them and say, look, did you get all of the material? And he said, yes, they did. And that I'd be pleased to know that they, as per procedure, when they got all this material, the first thing they did was to remove everybody's name.
Hmm.
They were told in the covering letter, the reason you're getting people's names is so you can contact them. Here's their email address, here's the phone number, in order to work out. We don't think you can decide the drug is causing the problem unless you interview people.
Wow.
FDA and EMA don't have anyone who can get in touch with anyone
So
who reports things to
wow.
them.
So by manipulating procedural outcomes, this was prevented from, actually being investigated.
Yeah.
Wow.